Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today we have to talk about it. How can you buy $1 million properties with other people's money with no credit and no money in your own pocket? Well, guess what? We had a special guest on last night in a live stream, and I've chopped it up, so I'm going to make a video about it. And welcome to Foci Optics. Check. Stop struggling now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it.
Think about it. Expand your horizons, expand your mind. Oh my God, Will is here. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, he might have been here for the last 20 minutes. All right, Will, if you can hear me, I'm about to bring you on. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Will might have been here the whole hour or two. I didn't even notice he was in the house.
Man. I was enjoying your speech, man. I loved it.
All right, man. All right. Oh, man, I messed up. Will, thank you so much for being here, ladies and gentlemen. And here's my man, Willie. You guys know when we did the Will was here when we did his Super 8 Hotel Biloxi, when we did that live stream, when he was talking about how he purchased it. So this is real estate, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have to let Will. We did that like maybe 9 months ago, right? Something like that, Will?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So I got to go get my headphones on because I have feedback coming through the mic. But I'm going to put you on screen. And what I want you to do is tell people how you were able to purchase the real estate. Because a lot of people don't, even after you did this interview, a lot of people still don't realize that they don't need credit, that in fact, they don't need like $1 million if you know where to find it and where to go to. So can you explain how you found the people to invest in the property with no credit and no money? So ladies and gentlemen, this is very special because Will's my man and he spent years. This isn't something that took like overnight because he's going to tell you the process that he took. So I'll be back in like, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, but this explanation is probably going to take about a minute. So I'll let you have the floor, man. And so explain how you did this Super 8 deal again, man.
Okay. So I started out looking for hotel deals, but not just hotel deals. I didn't start out doing hotels. Actually, I was looking for like apartments and maybe some hotels, things like that, maybe some student housing and things like that. What I did, because I didn't have any money at all, so I ended up having to find the money to buy this property. And what I did is something that actually a friend of mine told me to do, something that I thought was kind of like, this couldn't work. I went to public records. I found people who were buying properties, the same type of, who were not buying them, but who were funding them. So you have like a grantor, you have a grantee. The grantee is the guy who's actually funding the deal. And so what I did was I reached out to a host of these people that were actually funding deals. I then found a hotel or found something. Actually, this hotel kind of landed in my lap. I reached out to some of these people on public records. I sent them a postcard, that sort of thing, let them know that what I was doing. And since these people were interested in funding those types of deals, or they've been doing the type of deals that I'm actually coming up with, I started getting calls. And so I came across actually one investor who was a very, very wealthy guy. And so I put a package together. One of the things that I realized is that when these guys call you, you got to be ready to go. You got to be ready to if they tell you I need information on it, you have to be ready you have to have that information ready immediately. And so I had a package already ready for him. I sent it over to him. He looked at the deal, and I actually sent it to about 3 other guys as well. But the one guy, the very wealthy guy, he looked at it and said he wanted to fund it. And I'm thinking, okay, you want to fund part of the deal, or how much of it do you want to fund? And he said, well, I want to fund all of it. And so that's how I bought my first hotel. I actually found the property. I found the investor or the lender actually through public records. He actually funded my whole deal. So on this one hotel, I only have one lender. And I'm actually now doing another hotel also. Well, this one's in Diamond Head, actually. And still the same lender. I don't know how wealthy this guy is. The first hotel was $5 million, 5.10. It's been a while now. 5.6 million. This hotel that I'm doing now is 3.7 million, and it's still one lender that's actually funding this deal too. Now I'm going to start looking for other lenders now because I'm not exactly sure how many deals I can do with this one guy before his money runs out. So I'm going to repeat the process, start sending out postcards and doing the exact same thing and see if I can generate interest. And even though I don't have a third hotel, I'm just going to show them the actual deals I've been doing. And so when I actually do have a deal that comes up, I have a lender that will be ready to, or maybe several people that'll be ready to actually fund that deal. And that's exactly how I got started.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. You've been holding out on me over in Diamond Head, but I like it though. I like it though. You learned from me how to keep it quiet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man, you're kind of the best at that. One of the things that I tell everybody about you, E, as far as back in the days when we went to the Super Bowl, when you were making like millions of dollars and you still drove around in that 1985 Pontiac Grand Prix. That impressed me so much because you could have bought anything at that time, but you still drove around in what we call the Brown Bomber. So that I learned a lot from you. I've known you since I was a teenager. You know what I mean? I learned a lot from you, and that's one of the things that I haven't bought anything. I still drive around in a Highlander. I haven't bought anything yet. I've been looking at things now.
I'm sure you're a car guy.
But yeah, of course, man. And so, but I still drive my 2015 Highlander. It still runs. It's still great. When something breaks on it, I'll fix it, that sort of thing. But I'm not actually looking to drive anything Highline just yet. That sort of thing. So,
right on. All right. Yeah. Well, you did touch upon this thing in Diamond Head. So now that you let the cat out the bag, I got to ask about it. So we're doing the normal, right? You said 5 million?
This one's 3.7.
3.7. So that means we need 25% down, right?
No.
Is that the deal? what we doing?
No, the same lender that actually funded my Biloxi property is actually funding this one too.
Oh, 100%?
Yeah, he's doing 100%, man.
All right.
And see, here's the deal: the hotel that I'm buying it with over $1 million in equity. So this one is a little bit different. The guy that I bought from in Biloxi, he wasn't motivated. He just wanted to sell his property. He was one of these like extraordinarily rich guys that just wanted to get out of it. He wanted to spend more time with his kids, so he's just liquidating everything, not his kids, but his grandkids. This guy that I'm buying from in Diamond Head, he's older guy. His brother's older, some conflict. His brother's sick. He has to sell. And if he doesn't sell before his brother dies, then just like you were talking about probate, his hotel goes into probate. He would do anything to keep that from happening. So like me, with access to money, I happened to come along at the right time. And now we just struck a deal. I just signed the contract yesterday, actually.
All right. So give me the numbers, because this is so we're doing the teachable stuff right now. So okay, so you're buying it for 3.7, but it's worth what, 4.7? Is that the idea?
It's worth about 5. It's worth about 5.
So it's worth about 5. So therefore, you already have the equity in. So actually, they're saying your lender, who you've already done business with, is sitting there saying, "Well, we don't need you to put no money down. We'll give you the 3.7 loan." Is that what they're saying?
That's exactly what's happening. Well, there's a couple of things that's special about this property here. In the back of the property is just a piece of land. Now we have to make what you call an easement. There's no access to the road, so we have to make a way for them to get to the road. But here's the deal: McDonald's actually wants to lease that property from us. At about $20,000 a month. Yeah, they actually want to buy it. And I'm like, well, I don't want to sell it. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, don't sell
it. And so now they're talking about they want to lease it. So we're probably going to do some sort of ground lease. Something very new to me. So I'm going to have to bring in somebody who knows more about that. I'm open to it. They're willing to pay us. I think it was either $20,000 a month or $50,000 a month for that. So I'm not sure.
Right on. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you get into how did you find the property in Diamond Head?
It came to me. You know, when you're looking for properties and you contacting people about property, well, people look at you as somebody who can buy. So I get a lot of these things just getting into my inbox. And so I had one of the guys that I dealt with in Mississippi in Biloxi came at me and was like, "Hey man, are you interested in a piece of property in Diamond Head?" I'm like, "Well, Diamond Head? I never heard of the place before. Like, what the hell is Diamond Head?" You know, he's like, "Oh, it's a place just, you know, down in Mississippi. It's pretty cool. It's kind of a beach community, but this hotel, not like the last one. The last hotel's on the beach. This hotel's not."
Okay.
And so it's probably about maybe a mile or two from the beach. You can see the beach probably from the hotel, but it's not on the beach. So he came across. He sent me the package because I look at anything, and I looked at it and I started looking at the numbers, and I'm like, "Oh man, this might work." Now here's the deal. I'm coming in a really great position because the guy has already put a Ramada flag on it.
Oh, nice.
And Ramada, yeah. And so Ramada actually requires a certain standard when they put the name on it. So the guy has already redid all the rooms according to their standards, that sort of thing. And so all the rooms are done. There's a restaurant, a kitchen, and a lounge there that they haven't done. That's the only thing that we have to do. But pretty much the hotel is pretty much fully rehabbed. So I came in at a pretty sweet deal. So it's pretty cool.
Will, hold on, man. Hold on. I'm proud of you on this one. But look, this is the real deal though. The real deal is if you weren't already in the system known as a person that invests, this might not have came across your desk.
That is very true.
Yeah. So this is what I always tell people is they have to actually go out and actually seek real estate investors. If you want to be a real estate investor, you got to get to go down to the club or wherever you got to go to be amongst other people that invest, because you never know what deals are out there because other people know the deals.
I think what works for me and should work for everybody here is you find that money first. You got to make sure that money is available so you can tap it whenever you need it.
That's right.
That is the key, because when you have money, you can buy anything.
That's correct.
You know what I mean? Everything is for sale, you know, that sort of thing. And then when somebody knows that you have, I'm not rich by any means, but I have access to people who are, and I'm known for being able to tap those people. And so, you know, I get a lot of the deals coming my way that I probably wouldn't get if I didn't have access to money.
That's right.
That's the key.
That's it. Exactly. That's what I talk about here, Will. Yeah, that's why I wanted you on about this real estate, because you're doing what a lot of these, you know, you always know how I feel about the no guru zone, man. So you're doing exactly what gurus charge people, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, and then they still don't tell you about how to get the financing.
That is true. You know, I've bought, I don't know how many, I can't even tell you how much money I spent on courses.
I know.
You know, probably more than what most folks make in a year over the course of a 20-year journey,
right.
You know, that sort of thing. So, and, you know, it took for me to actually get out there and do it and run into roadblocks and then try to figure out how to get around those roadblocks. So some of those roadblocks ended up costing me some of these deals.
That's right.
You know, and it was just that I had people coming at me like, "Man, you still trying to buy properties? What is what? You should give this up." You know, and yeah, my mom used to be my biggest critic. You know what I mean? Like, "Oh, baby, I can't stand how you're just killing yourself out here, baby. You got to stop that." Now she's my biggest cheerleader. You know,
of course. Of course.
You know, my son persevered. You know what I mean? And to her, I can do no wrong.
Of course, man. But you have to go through the journey. That's how it works. Yeah, we got some questions though. Check it out.
Okay.
What's the typical split between you and the person providing the funds? Okay, hold on. Yeah, hold on. He's asking this question, but let's go with both properties because there's not really a split, I don't think, on the first property. You actually owe them a certain percentage, but
right, he's getting 12%, which is kind of high.
Yeah, that's the one in Biloxi, right?
Yeah, and
12%.
This one is going to be the same thing. And I'm not sure what's going to be the case on this one,
Right.
but I'm assuming it's going to be 12%.
Yeah, but 12%. I mean,
Right.
that may be kind of high, but we also know we can get some people want 14, 15. So
that's very true. Well, my cap rate in Biloxi was 22%. My cap rate on this one is 26%.
oh,
so
well, oh my man, you got the right caps. Woo, I always love that cap rate. Yeah. Oh man. Yes, lease the property to MacD's.
Oh yeah. Again, that's an area, man. I'm very, very unfamiliar with. I don't know anything about ground leases. I have a friend of mine that does actually. I don't think you. I think you met Lewis, haven't you, Eric? He's one of my realtors. Yeah. He actually has really extensive experience in ground leases. So I've been really tapping him, and he's going to put it all together for me, I think. We haven't made an agreement yet. No. I don't know what he's going to charge me. Right. That I'm flying blind on.
Well, but he'll help you out, though.
Yeah, I knew enough to know not to sell it.
That's right. That's exactly right. Exactly. You want that cell phone tower money.
Exactly. And that's the key with this property here. It's right there on the freeway. So I have a couple of ideas actually. I'm gonna put up a billboard, one of those big jumbotron type billboards, and see if I can get some advertising from that as well.
There you go.
So
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. Well, then you got the best of both worlds, because you actually are controlling the property and you're paying the 12%. So they get their money. The cap rate covers, you still have 10, 12% profit, which is beautiful. And this leads me to, I wanted you on tonight because on Monday night I did a live stream. And I told people about a story. And you already brought it up where you were saying, I put in all this money into these courses and these webinars and seminars. So I told them, I said, yeah, you guys remember my man Will, who he actually used to pay these $2,000, $5,000 to go to these webinars.
Oh, God. $39.95.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're flying across the country, hotels, expenses, and all of that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got tons of those.
Exactly. And so we used to always talk. And that one where the guy said, bring us a deal and we'll actually fund the deal. And we had that 20 cap in Texas, and you went to go show him.
I won't mention his name. I won't mention his name. But yes, the guy talked a really big game, man. He really did. And he's one of the well-known gurus out there.
Exactly.
That deals with commercial real estate. But I won't mention who he is. And here's the thing: is he wanted me to pay like $30,000 to be a part of his specialty, like diamond group or something like that. I'm like, man, I don't have $2,000, let alone $30,000. The last $2,000 I spent coming here, that sort of thing. And
exactly.
But he wanted me to spend another $20-something thousand to be a part of that group. But when I brought him a property, which told me this one wasn't the group for me, I brought him a property, and it was a perfect property that actually you found. And he was like, well, this is not what we're looking for, that sort of thing. I'm like, well, if you're not looking at this, what in the hell would you fund? That's kind of like
exactly.
And that cap rate that you brought us was like, it was huge. It was like high 20s.
Exactly. It was like 26, 28, something like that. It was crazy. And the property wasn't even it was below the occupancy rate for the city. So we had an upside above the 20-something%. It was insane.
Exactly. And we brought him a couple. I remember you found, I don't know if you remember this, I remember you brought 2 vacant apartments in Oklahoma. One of them was like 180-something units, and the other was 104. And when we penciled the repairs or something like that, it was going to be something like, oh God, man, that was like 100 years ago. But it was something like we would have been at like a 20% LTV.
Exactly.
Or something like that.
Exactly. It was insane.
Yeah.
It was insane. Yeah, man. So that's why I had a talk on Monday night. I was like, yeah, you guys, all these gurus, they talk a good game. But I said, you're spending a lot of money that you could actually use to invest and find your own properties. You're giving away some of the leverage to these guys by giving them 10, 20, 30,000. And come to find out, a lady that was here, Andreen Miller, she said now some people were asking, you mentioned 30. She said somebody that she did a seminar with said $69,000.
Who the hell has 59 grand? You know?
Exactly.
I'm coming to you to learn. You know, if I had $69,000, I wouldn't need you.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Charlie's in the house. We got to get some people here. Hi, Willie and all SSN Nation from Charlie with the icon next to her name.
Hey, Charlie, how you doing, man?
Victor Marrero. Willie, what was your intent to get a commercial instead of home properties?
Here's the thing, man. I in 2000, actually, I did a lot of, you remember this, I did a lot of properties. I probably bought between 2000 and 2008 before the crash. I probably bought about 20 or so properties, maybe even more than that. You know, anybody in that market could have made money. It didn't matter who you were. If you bought a property, it was worth more than it was. The crash happened in 2008, and I was left holding some of these properties, you know, and in 2012, I had lost all of those properties, including my personal residence, and then along with that, with my marriage and everything else. I ended up coming across a guy I actually think is a pretty much a heavyweight in a commercial property, in a commercial, talk about the gurus. I think this guy's legit. His name is Dave Lindahl, actually. So I ran across his apartments thing, and I started reading on it. I'm like, oh, man. And he was talking about, well, you could flip an apartment, and it would be equivalent to flipping 10 or 15 homes, you know, because, you know, you flip a house, it could be anywhere from $15,000 to $50,000. Well, an apartment is anywhere from 100 to maybe even $500,000. And so I started thinking big about it. And I started thinking, okay, well, if I can, you know, do what I would do in an apartment with the same responsibilities as I do as a home, but make 10 times as much, then I'd rather go that route, you know, and that's kind of what I started focusing on. Unfortunately, it just took me a long time to get going on it. But my reason for going with commercial is because the dollars there's a lot more zeros on the end of it. You know, owning 2 properties right now, I don't want to boast about my net worth, but owning 2 properties in commercial, these 2 properties is going to really put me in a situation that if I only own 2 houses, things I wouldn't be able to do. You know, I'm looking at things a little bit differently now. You know, I can afford to do a lot more things with just these 2 properties that I couldn't do with just 2 homes. So that's my reason for just sticking with commercial. Now, saying I wouldn't do homes, the market is inflated. Now, I'm looking at some of these home prices now, and I'm like, man, these guys are crazy. And so I'm assuming there's going to be a situation where if you have cash is going to be king in a couple of years.
That's correct.
And so I'll be looking at some of these properties then, some of these single family homes that people are going to be probably trying to give away, that sort of thing. So, but commercial, it was just the dollar amount that you can make versus when you buy single family or residential.
Well, I'll say there's one last thing to it as well. So the single family homes would have been fine, because most people have to do the single family thing because they don't have access to the funding. So once you were able to get access to the funding, now you're able to step up to get $2, $3, $4, $5 million properties, because now you found people who you could send over a package to and say, hey, this is what we have going on, and would you like to invest in it? So that's a major thing right there. And I want to say something else while we have a little audience here. So now, Will, I'm going to put you on the spot, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any properties that you can find out there that you want to invest in, Will's been doing this for a while. Look, I got to give it to my man Will here, ladies and gentlemen. He, like he said, he put in work. It wasn't 1 year. It wasn't 3 years. It wasn't 5 years. He put in work for like 10 years at least. And all that time he put in the work, he was building up somewhat like I call a portfolio, because he kept meeting people. Then he finally had enough people that could invest in $2 million, $5 million, $3 million properties.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what you have to understand. So if anybody does have investment property, you guys better hit me up so I can send it over to Will. And again, you better have revenue coming in. Well, I just put things down like it's supposed to be. We want to see revenues. We want to see profit. You don't send something over and talk about I got a $3 million deal and it's only making $10,000 a year. That ain't working. All right, that's not working. All right, we got to have some profits that's gonna pay off the loan, and then you have to have profit left over. All right,
the money that I get is expensive, you know, and so
exactly. Well, 12% is what you're saying.
12% is very expensive. Now he's not charging me any points. It's an actual individual, so it's not an institution. So it's not like it's not like a hard money institution. It's actually a person, one person actually on this one. So the money I get is really expensive. So it has to actually pencil. It doesn't have to be making money on the onset, but the upside has to be where we can.
That's right.
You know,
but it just makes it easier when we actually have it, where we have the 12% covered, and then we have profit, so everybody feels good. So why buy one that doesn't? That's what I'm saying. Very true. You know, in this day and age, forget about it. There's too many properties available.
That's very true.
In reality.
That's very true.
Yeah. Wilson Koo saying in Canada there are people in Sunil's group that does that, what he is saying. Yeah, exactly. And funny thing is, I just don't like gurus, right? So the Sunil guy, he's a group. So ladies and gentlemen, this is basically how Sunil works. Let's just say me and Will comes out with Will and Eric funding. And then we say, hey guys, give us $5,000 each. We're in a group. We're going to have properties. And then, of course, Will gets properties sent to him all the time. And then we as a group can invest. That's what those guys kind of do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't like doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. You know, if you tell me you're an investor, if you tell me that you buy properties or you fund these things, then you should already have these. I mean, if you are a funder, then you should already have the funds already set aside in order to take this thing down. I'm not, you know, I don't want you to have to raise the money, that sort of thing. I want guys that actually have the money. Because, you know, real estate is a time-sensitive business. There's very certain deadlines that you have to do. You have so much time to have the earnest money in, and then so much time to do your due diligence and closing and stuff like that. You got to have these things already ready. So when I tap you, you better be ready to go. And to me, I'm not familiar with Sunil. I don't know what he's about. But, you know, it could work, you know, if you already have enough people that he can tap to get the money. But I feel more comfortable if I know you have the money sitting in a bank somewhere, that when I'm ready to move, that you can go ahead and withdraw some funds and direct them down to the closing table. That's kind of where I'm at. And if that's not you, then I would prefer to just move on.
Yeah, you know, exactly. So when you're actually, let's get to a little start of this. So what are you having to, well, I should say, I don't know how this second one is going that you're doing at Diamond Head, but what type of documentation is normally required these days? I'll put it normally, because in the second one, the lender's familiar with you, so he might not require the same.
Right. Well, as far as documentation, everything's about the property. It's not about me, you know. Right. And so we still need the P&L. They need to be certified by an accountant. They need to be audited. They don't have to be. There's three types of audits, and please forgive me. I know CPAs know about this. I don't. I know there's three types of audits. I mean, three types of P&Ls. One's are audited, one's are reviewed, and then the other one is like more expensive, and that's called something else. They at least have to be reviewed. So, and that's the kind of a big thing. If there's an appraisal on file, we at least need to know what the last appraisal was. We might have to do a new appraisal, that sort of thing. I don't think so, given with the type of income that is throwing off. I think we're okay. As far as documents, as far as that is concerned, that's pretty much it. And then we do, you know, our phase ones and stuff like that. But other than that, nothing really. There's nothing really required from this guy, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people think that they have to jump through a lot of hoops, when in reality, in multifamily or any hotels or any properties, it's all about the property. The numbers make up the property and the value. Right. So it's not so much what my credit score is. It's not so much what my LLC's business credit is. It has nothing to do with none of that. It has to do with what the property, how it operates, and what the profits and losses are. So just that's why I asked.
If it was a bank, we'd need tax returns, we need personal financial statements, and all this other crap, firstborns, DNA, height, blood, this and that. I mean, they require a lot of stuff. I'm about to go through that now because I'm actually about to refinance Biloxi.
Right.
You know what I mean? So this is my first commercial property that I'm going through that I'm going to have to refi to get it out of my lender's hands and to a reasonable more interest rate, somewhere around 4% or something like that.
Oh yeah, exactly, because you got that 12%. Well, I'm glad you brought up this refi. So how long did you have to season it? We used to say season it. So how long did you have to wait, a year or 6 months?
A year.
Okay. So you had to wait a year. And then, of course, the bank, like you said, they want all kind of stuff. But the point is, the idea is you go from 12%, you pay your partners out. And you're going to be down around 4.5, worst case scenario, probably.
Right.
So you're loving life at that point. And so I got to ask you the numbers then. Because, in case nobody knows, the Biloxi property, you make money when you buy real estate. You don't make money by guessing. Will bought the property where the value of the property, I believe, was actually, when I said, Will, it's worth like over $1 million more already. So how much is it worth now for the refi?
Right now, this property is worth about $9 million. You know what I mean? It's worth about $9 million. The occupancy is up, and we're going to take a little bit of cash out.
Of course you are.
Yeah, we're going to take a little bit of cash out. I don't know if you remember, and I'm a little embarrassed to say, actually, man, when you called me up, I was like, yeah, man, I'm looking at a plane. I'm thinking about this money that I'm taking out. But in actuality, I'm not going to do that. But it's worth about $9 million. Right now, we're into it for 5.2.
Okay.
Actually. We're probably going to take out about. We're probably doing about 6.5, maybe.
Yeah, 6.5, 7.
Yeah, something like that.
That makes sense.
And it just depends on where the appraisal comes back at.
Right.
That sort of thing. And so we're looking at that. And if the appraisal is generous towards us, we're probably looking at probably about $1 million, maybe $1.5 million.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's awesome. So did the bank actually require 1 year these days, or did you just do it at 1 year?
I'm doing it at 1 year. We actually have more than that, but you got to remember that we had to bring this thing up to market occupancy.
Right.
And so before that year, 12 months ago, the finances weren't looking like that. They weren't looking like they are today. So, and even though they might still work, but the property is nowhere near, it wasn't nowhere near what it is today. So 12 months is safe, according to our broker, but we'll find out.
Okay.
We'll find out. I'm not really
All right. Okay. Well, there's something else that I talk about also in regard to when you're doing real estate, and especially commercial property, and even in your case, hotels and even apartments. Now, you set these all up. They're under an LLC, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
They have to be, because otherwise you're not going to get the tax write-offs.
No.
And so, so that's one of the things.
There's a difference between, there's a difference between what LLC you hold these things in too. What is shooting off constant income. The best LLC for tax purposes, the best vehicle would be an LLC. If I was just taking these things and flipping them, I should be in a C corp, for the tax benefits for that. And there's a lot of quirky stuff behind that goes along with that. But everything that I buy is going to be in an LLC. Everything. Right. Well, not LLC, but I'm just saying everything's going to be incorporated, either LLC or.
It has to be under one. Can't be. You're not going to do personal. So the question that I have though is, I believe, did you set up any of them under an S corp, or do you know?
No, I didn't. The reason I didn't is because it's not losing money.
Okay.
If it was, the S corp would be best for if you weren't going to make money over a certain amount of time, maybe even a certain amount of years. we don't need that right now. If I were to buy a property that, like when you saw those vacant units,
Right.
um, then that would be best served under an S corp, because it's going to take a minute for us to, that was completely vacant.
Right.
So we were obviously we're going to lose money in the first year probably, and getting the thing up to market occupancy and stabilized. What we're saying, we're getting it stabilized. Probably would have taken us another year to do
Right.
that.
Right.
And so that would be better served at an S corp. And then once it's stabilized, you move it out of that S corp and then to an LLC. Unless you're going to flip it, then you can either flip it out of the S corp, or if it's taking a minute, then you put it into a C corp until you flip
Right.
it.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Okay. Thanks for that info, man. All right. Let's see what else we got. Will, can you hang on a little longer, or do you got to run?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure, no, I'm good.
Okay. Victor Marrero, Willie, is there anything you would do differently if you had to do it again? What's your key advice for someone that wants to get into the game?
Oh man. Yeah, there's tons I would do differently, man. I mean, really, I think my biggest mistake was a couple things actually, man. But I think my biggest mistake actually was going after a property before I had the money in place. I think that was a huge one. That was a biggie. And I think, if I had it all to do over again, I would raise the money. Even if I didn't have a property that I could show them, I could kind of build up a portfolio. And it's easy to do that by maybe showing maybe an apartment for sale or that sort of thing, and kind of build up kind of tell your story about it, even if you don't know it. But I'll raise the money first. I think that would be one of my biggest advice. And the second advice that I would do, that I've learned, that I would, if if 49-year-old Willie had to go back and talk to 29-year-old Willie, I think I would tell them, don't do anything with friends or family, because I don't think a lot of your friends can stomach. Because of course, through the course of my 15-year journey, or about 10-year journey, I've brought some friends along with me, and I've taken some friends down with me as well. And I think in this case, I don't think I would do anything with friends. In that case, I think I would, unless they have the stomach unless they're able to stomach risk, and most people don't have the stomach for that. I also invest in stocks too. And or not stocks, I invest in the currency market. And then a lot of times when I'm investing, like I've had a friend of mine that's investing too. And I was down like $1,700, and my friend was like, "Oh my God, I'm down $1,700." Most people can't take losses or being hurt, by money and not being able to recover, that sort of thing. So I think for me, I think I would keep it strictly professional, and I would build as much money as I can before I start going after property, and then learn. I would learn everything. That was another thing. There was a learning curve for me learning about real estate. Back in 2002, with my single family homes and all of that, when I lost it all, it's because I didn't know everything. It's just the market was going up so fast, I was making money. I didn't know everything about it. And so that actually cost me, not knowing everything about it, when everybody was saying, "Hey man, sell your property, sell your property, sell your properties." So I learned your craft. But raising the money is the key component to what you want to do. So make sure you have the money first, so you can tap that money. It's very confident. Your psyche, you're so confident when you know you got some millions behind you, and you put an offer in. And you got to remember, these people who are seasoned investors, these people who own these apartments, probably multiple apartments, they've owned them for multiple, number of years. They're going to be trying to school you, and it's always good when you're able to school them, if you know what I mean, that sort of thing. So if you got the money, when you got money behind you, that brings about that confidence. So I say raise the money first. That's your key thing. Raise the money first. That is the number one thing you can do. And, when you start getting people, these investors calling you, like, you got to remember, these investors that are tapping you, this is how they eat. You know what I mean? It's not like you need them and they don't need you. The guy that invests in my property, that's all he does, is he invests. You know what I mean? So that 12% that I'm paying him, he's getting 12% from me. He's getting 12% from whoever else and whoever else. That's how he eats. That's how he pays his bill. That's how he sends his kids to college. And so you got to just, bring these people in. And then once you think you have enough money in, then you start going for these properties and start seeing if you can kind of make the marriage, make the money and the property and bring them together. And that, once you make that marriage, you're on easy street. And there's always going to be some learning curves along. You never know what's going to happen through the course of doing your deals, but there's always going to be something. But if you got those two things solved, I think you're 80% there. In
Yeah,
my opinion.
I agree. That's always my assessment, because once you had the money, my thing is just like you said, number one is money. So if you don't have access to the money, it doesn't even matter what deals you have, because you're not going to find anybody to fund it. So that is the reason why this is a major situation. And especially after you put in all the work. And and that's why I said, people here in SSN Nation, I'm saying, if you're sitting there and you found an apartment complex, a hotel, and you're sitting there saying, man, this has revenue, this has money, this is doing that, but I don't have the 5 million or can't get the 5 million finance or the 3 million, you're out of luck. But tonight, if you happen to be here with Will, you guys can send an email. Okay.
If you got something, send it over.
There you go. But there's one other thing that I want to add to this, because you mentioned the most important part is the funding. You mentioned all that. There's another piece to this as well. You have to have the packet to send over to the investors that's on point. You can't just send them over, hey, man, this makes $300,000 a year, and I can give you your 12%. You got to send something better than that.
Here's what I did, man, is for the Super 8 and for the Diamond Head, I wrote up something. And here's what I learned, man. This is key, too. The less questions they have to ask you, the chances of you getting that money goes up exponentially. If they gotta start asking you questions, if they ask you more than 3 or 4 questions, you might as well just move on to another investor.
That's correct.
So what I did is, before I even talked to this guy that's funding my 2 deals now, is I wrote up a package. I wrote up, and it was from, I told about the property, where it's at today, where it can be, how much is it going to be get from here to here. And it's a really nice pack. I'm going to send you what I wrote later. Yeah, I'll send it over to you tonight. And I wrote it up, and I said, okay, here's what I need. And you can, because the guy was looking to owner financing at first. And so I said, okay, if you invest, the down payment was like 1.4 million. If you invest 1.4 million, you're going to get your 12%. Here's the return on your money over the course of a number of years. So if you invest this, or if the property goes up this, your money is still secure because the property is here. So I gave him percentages on how much he's going to make and how much he's into the deal. You know what I mean? And I told a totally complete story, about that property. So when he looked at it, he's like, hey, man, this is actually pretty good. I've never wrote up one of these things before either. You know what I mean, man. I can barely spell it. You see my text messages. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I wrote up something, through spell checker, and had everything checked out. I did like the little italic fonts and stuff like that, and it looked real nice. And then at the end of everything, I sent them a boatload of pictures. So he's seen like the rooms, he's seen like the conference area, he's seen like the pool, the front. I showed him a picture of the beach. I showed him kind of a side shot. He could see that the hotel is actually on the beach, that sort of thing. And I sent everything. And when he looked at this package, he was like, man, this looks professionally written. And I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? And he was like, yeah, he had absolutely no questions. So the more questions that you can answer in his head, you know what I mean? And you will know, only you will know the properties. Like you look at it from an investment standpoint and say, okay, what can go wrong? Who's my competition? Who's this? Who's that? That sort of thing. What's the investment? What are we going to make of the investment? Okay, what happens if you can't sell it? What's another exit strategy? You got to have all those things down before you actually go. You got to know all of these things before you actually go to an investor. So you can't just go down and say, hey, man, I have a deal.
That's right.
What can we do with this deal? That sort of thing. You got to actually know all of these things. Now, what I'm doing now is I'm setting up a website. And on my website will be, when I contact my investor, I will make sure that I'll be like, hey, Bernie, go to my website, blah, 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 and check out this deal. That way he can just kind of click on it, that sort of thing. That way I don't have to send an email. I'll just send a link to it and to go to my website, that sort of thing. So that's what I'm doing now to make it kind of easier. And then when I'm going to raise, like I said, I don't know how much money Bernie has, or my investor has. I have no idea how much money he has. And so he did $5 million. He's doing 3.6. That's $9 million. not a lot of people have over $10 million sitting in the bank. I don't think.
Got
You know,
that
even
right. Point zero
when
zero
you
one.
start talking,
Yeah.
exactly. And so when you start talking about people who are even worth billions of dollars, may not even have that kind of money on tap. And
That's
so now I got to start looking for other people. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive them back to my website and look at these 2 properties that I've done, even though I don't have anything, you know, and then I have a, if you're interested, kind of form. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to have it worked out yet, but that's going to be my next step. And then some targeted ads and stuff like that on YouTube and Google and stuff like that. And then we just kind of see where it goes.
Wow. You just gave out some gems, my man. That's how you do it. Gave out some gems, Will. All right. Look at this, Will. Wilson Koo from Canada saying, I'm glad that I didn't pay the money for the guru to give me this talk and the info the SSN family provides for free. Yes. Yeah, man. Thanks so much for being here again.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you. That's a heck of a compliment. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, man. You're doing the damn thing. Wilson Koo, I agree. That's Charlie with the icon. Andreen Miller's in the house. Hey, Eric and SSN family. Yeah. She's the one that actually on Monday night said that she went to the gurus and they wanted $30K and $69K for upgrades.
$69K.
Oh. Yeah. That's what I was like. What?
Yeah,
crazy.
Don't ever pay. You know, if they're charging that much money, you got to really wonder how much money they're actually making on properties and how much money they're making on selling these courses.
Exactly.
You know?
That's what I say. Exactly. It's crazy. Man, those gurus are heartless, man. But you came out on top, Willie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It wasn't just for one guru. Like I said, there's one that I did go to. That was David Lindahl. He's a badass, I think, you know, in the apartment thing. And he's actually doing deals, you know. So I did learn from him. I didn't stay with him, you know, but I did learn. You know, I bought like an $800 course from him. And that was actually all I needed to kind of get me started and start learning more. Most of the stuff that I'm telling you now, you could probably find on YouTube or Google. Really.
Nah, man, you can't find it. You know why?
Really?
There's not that many people that actually, they can talk about how they can say, okay, I can find investors to buy property, but they can't tell you how. You follow what I'm saying? They can't give you the process.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So like you told, like what you were just talking about, like I was talking about the packet and then you expounded on it saying, hey, yeah, you got to have the packet ready 100% so they don't have any questions. See, that's the pieces that are missing for people. They don't realize they have to have everything nice and tight and send it to them. So that information, people aren't telling them that. You know what I'm saying? So anything that you're saying helps out a lot of people, man. So let's see. We got Wilson Koo here who does funding, by the way. He says we can do those deals with at least 6 to 12 months. I'm pretty sure he's referring to that refi.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he does funding. In fact, there might be another source. He does funding with, man, he told me something the other day, 90 to 100% LTV. I was like, hold on, man, we got to talk. So we'll see.
Wait, hold on for a second. On acquisition?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That okay. Those things I've yet to find anyone on acquisition that'll do 90.
Well,
95.
Wilson Koo, chime in the chat room. Let me know if I'm mistaken about that. But he said something about 100% LTV. So we're talking about, we're talking about commercial property. So we'll see.
Acquisition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see. Let me make sure we're talking about this right property. He'll chime in the chat. Will, congrats on refi. Good explanation from Curtis Davis. That's Mr. Financial.
Oh, yeah. Thanks a ton.
So again, man, see, your explanation helps people, man. That's what I'm saying. All right. What occupancy rate are the banks happy with? What's the range? Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about that.
That's a good question, actually. My hotel, when I first got into it, was 40% occupancy. The market occupancy in the Biloxi market was around 60%. You know, that's a good question. I haven't gotten on that part yet because I'm just starting the refi process. So I'm not really sure. That one, I don't know.
Right, but the refi, I don't even know if it's going to really matter about the occupancy ultimately, because I think it's going to matter on what you've done over the last year in the P&Ls, right? I think that's what they're going to look at. They're going to look at the P&Ls, and if the numbers match, then your property value is going to be derived from how much you guys made over the last 12 months.
I think you're right. Again,
Yeah.
this is something very new to me, so I have no idea.
But on an apartment, even an apartment, they're not going to care about occupancy rate either. But if we're looking for investors, the way I look at it is we're going to tell an investor if we have 60% occupancy, but the city is known for a 90% occupancy, then we can use that as a, hey, this is below value, but we can still pay you with below value. So therefore, we still should be good. So I don't know if occupancy rate really comes in to play that much.
That's a very good question, though. That's something that I'm actually going to keep in mind.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Curtis Davis, Mr. Financial. Here's what he's got. 1, raise capital. 2, network with experienced investors. 3, keep mindset of risk reward.
Risk reward. That is totally true.
There we go. Exactly. Wilson Koo. This is a lot of good info, and it's very doable, but you need to work. Hey, man, you always have to work for money.
Yeah.
Ain't easy.
Yeah. That's the part that they try to tell you, these gurus, like, oh man, you can start raising more money. I have more money than I ever need.
Yeah.
Dude, that is such hogwash, man. It took me a long time to get this done, man. And a lot of people, you got to remember, I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people are very, very skeptical. You know what I mean? And one of the gurus that said this, and I actually agree with it. Most people aren't worried about the return on their investment as much as they're worried about the return of their investment. And, a lot of people, you really got to walk them through it. The reason I went through public records is because these are people who actually need money. They have the mindset of money, and loaning it and loaning out millions of dollars. I got really lucky, to be honest, when I met Bernie, because most people would not loan you $5 million on your first deal.
No.
You know what I mean? Most people will say, okay, man, you need to find a smaller property that I'm more comfortable with, maybe $500,000, that sort of thing. But $5 million, this guy must be really, really loaded, man, in order to do that, is what I'm thinking.
Yes.
But nevertheless, I consider myself to be extraordinarily lucky to find a guy that's going to fund $5 million on my first deal. No experience. I came from, you got to remember, I went from losing everything in 2008, 2009, 2010. Like I said, I lost every property I had. I lost even my personal residence. I went through a divorce, damn near bankruptcy. And so here I am, a very inexperienced guy who really doesn't know anything about owning a property. I mean, I've done all my studies. I've been doing this stuff for like 10 years, on the grind, but I didn't know anything, man. And this guy came up and said, okay, you know what? I'm going to take a chance on you. I'm going to take a chance. You seem to know what you're talking about, even though you've never done. And that's the first thing, all these guys, what have you done? Right. And so I had to be like, look, man, I was involved in this. I was involved in that. I used some of the deals that even though we didn't finish them, I was like, oh yeah, me and my partner, we found a 104 unit apartment building that is fixed up. You know what I mean? It would have been $3.4 million. And, I used all the deals that we found that we took over to the guru, and I used that, and I made it seem like I didn't tell them I funded it, or I closed on them. I said, this is what we did. And if, when fixed up, it would make blah, that sort of thing. So I used all the stuff that I did, and I was involved in this deal, that deal, this deal, that deal. I didn't lie to him because it was the truth.
Right.
But to be honest with you, what he was really doing was funding the guy that just lost everything that he had.
Right.
You know what I mean? He lost everything that he had, and I was penniless, to be honest with you. And I had 2 pennies to rub together when he came. My man, you had to bail me out a few times. You know what I mean? So you know my story. That's why when I told you I got the deal, you was like, what?
Exactly.
Really? Wait a minute, dude. I know you.
Exactly.
So I'm not. My IQ is probably standard, average. I'm not smarter than anybody else. I just was able to sell it. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. And once you're able to do that, once you're able to tell your story, if you're really doing your due diligence on the property, that you're working with and you know it in and out, you can tell a story. If you really know, like if it's from here and you're taking it to there, then you can really, really tell a really good story about your property. And if you believe in it and you tell your story, I can guarantee you'll convince whoever you're talking to. You may not convince the first guy, but I guarantee if you get these people coming in, like I said, going through public records and getting these people, these investors, if you get enough of them, you tell your story well enough, somebody's going to say, you know what, I'm going to fund your deal. It took me a minute to find this guy.
Yeah.
I talked to a few people, and one guy was like, "Oh man, that's too much money."
Right.
I still talk to this girl. One of the girls, her name is Christine. She lives down in LA, and we still talk today, actually. And one of the things, one of the things about these investors is they don't mind bragging. She's like, "Oh yeah, I got $36 million in capital. I got about $20 million out on properties." And I mean, I'm like, wait a minute, if you got all these properties out, I'm sure you fund my deal. And she was like, "Oh no, that's too much." That sort of thing. So, you just gotta keep plucking at that apple, man, until you find somebody that's gonna actually hit.
Well, I will say this, Will. Don't sell yourself short. You actually did what a lot of people aren't willing to do. You kept going, and you actually were studying the whole time. And then when things broke down, you still didn't give up. You said, "Okay, I'm just going to keep making it, try to make it happen." So that's part of the growing pains, and that's part of how you end up successful on the other side. Because you could have easily just gave up and said, "Okay, I'll just work a 9 to 5 or something,"
Hey man, you know what? I was thinking about going to trucking school. You know what I mean? I had my application in a Swift. Was it Swift? Is it called Swift? One of those doggone trucking companies.
Swift.
Man.
Yeah, in Cali.
Yeah.
Swift. Yeah.
Right, and they were gonna take me in and train. I was like, man, this is not working. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you got people in your ear telling about, hey, this ain't gonna work. You're spinning your wheels. Blah 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 blah. My mom, like I said, she was my biggest critic. Oh baby, you're gonna die. Baby, you wanna die early? That sort of thing. No. And so, and all these things started getting to me. You may think you're dismissing it, but your subconscious mind is taking all of this in.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then I was like, okay, well maybe these people are right. Man, I don't really like working for people, but maybe they're right. Maybe I should. And so there's been many times where I was thinking about giving up. Where I call you up, man, can I borrow $100? Can I do this? That sort of thing. Man, I'm down at the end of my rope, that sort of thing, and. I did keep going. I'm surprised I kept going. Every time I kept going back to that, looking at deals and stuff like that, I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I should be sending my resume out, that sort of thing.
Right.
It just so happens this guy said, yeah, man, I like the deal. I'm going to do it, that sort of thing. So it just kind of worked out that way.
That's it. Lessons learned, man. But this helps everybody. Willie, did COVID teach you anything inside the commercial space? Were you forced to make big changes to the property?
Not really, other than masking up. Mississippi, man, I'm going to tell you something about Mississippi. They don't give a crap about COVID.
Exactly.
That's what I found out. The governor, Tate Reeves, that dude is like in denial, man. I mean, really. And not to get political. But, I mean, actually, he's a really nice guy, man. I actually spoke with him. But they're in denial about it. They didn't, there's many arguments we used to have. I don't want to wear my mask, that sort of thing. People were still going out to the beaches and still coming to the hotel, that sort of thing. I didn't change much other than I had to have the employees wear masks. That's it. One of my business partners who actually runs the hotel, he was kind of resistant to the mask thing too. So no, not really. Mississippi is a very different place. It's not like California where you go everywhere. You still even though I don't have to wear a mask because I've been fully vaccinated, I still walk into a store, I still put a mask on here, because when you walk into a store here, if you don't have a mask on, people are like, what's going on, that sort of thing. But in Mississippi, it's not like that. They kind of look at you crazy if you have a mask on. So that was kind of a chore, that sort of thing. And the social distancing, that's a little bit of a trip too, because not everybody respect social distancing.
Exactly.
That sort of thing. So sometimes people penetrate in your space, that sort of thing. And, I had COVID. I know how I felt when I had it. So for me, I'm real paranoid, when it comes to it. So not much. The business didn't change all that often. The business was still growing. One of the things that was actually going to happen, it didn't, but it was going to happen, is they were going to start putting COVID people in our hotel. You know what I mean? They were going
Oh,
to lease the hotel. They were
oh
going to
wow.
lease the hotel for the year, and then they were going to start putting COVID people in there. You know, that sort of thing. I didn't. I didn't agree with that because I didn't want that stigma, if you will, like, hey man, this is the COVID hotel, you know, that sort of thing. And so I kind of,
Exactly.
I resisted. My partners wanted to do it. It would have been a really big payday for us.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. I hear you. All right, Will, I'm gonna let you go in a little bit, but hold on. Can you do like 3, 4 more questions?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, cool. In seminar, Curtis Davis, in seminar I attended, it was $50K.
Jesus
Woo.
Christ, man.
They teased us with wholesale trailer homes. Then courses cost 40 to 60K. Jeez. Woo.
Again, I have to say, who was that, Curtis?
Yeah.
Yeah, Curtis, man. If you got to spend that much for a course, man, dude, if you got 40 or 60K, you got exactly what you need to get started, man. You got more than I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't even have that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I had to tap my boy, Ebro. I need $10. I need this. I need that. So you definitely have more than I did, man. You know, these guys that's charging that, I really question if they're really doing deals, man. I do. I'm a big believer in education. I still buy courses and stuff like that. I do all the time, actually. And right now I'm really heavily into this stock stuff. So I just spent like a whole bunch of money on stock, you know, these investing courses and expert advisors and learning how to robot trade and that sort of thing. And so I'm a big believer in that. But if you got to charge me $20,000 or $30,000, man, I find that to be a little bit suspect.
Right.
You know, I do.
Right.
I just.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Tiffany Young saying everybody wants to sell you info, not share for free. That's exactly what we have going on.
And that's the problem. I don't mind doing this. I'm not going to say I've made it, you know, but I think I'm on my way.
Yeah.
You know, and I really don't mind. I really don't mind sharing what I know because I'm excited about it. Real estate is something I'm very passionate about. I've been passionate about it since I was 5 years old. You know, not knowing anything about real estate, I just knew that these houses, everybody needs them, and so we should be selling them. You know, that sort of thing.
Exactly.
And so yeah, I don't mind sharing that kind of.
Well, here we go, Will. Okay, remember what I was saying, that 100% LTV?
Yeah.
Okay, so he answered. So I was wrong. Well, actually, this may work out, but yes, you heard right, for rehab properties.
Oh, is this hard money?
12%, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Dumb question. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's got to be. But hey,
Okay.
I don't really know. But he works with the lender, so it may not be hard money. So he hasn't given the roughly
At 12%, it has to be hard money.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But
Yeah.
again, he's talking about rehab properties. If you can do 100% on rehabs, then that goes along with that one property deal we were going to do one time, where we had that whatever it was, 108 units, and it was vacant. Then we could have fixed it up, so we could have got 100% of the loan to value.
Yeah, loan to cost. Yeah.
Yeah. Loan to cost.
Maybe,
right.
maybe so. Yeah. But now in this market, well, I don't know about this market. I know, you know, a few years ago, getting 100% loan to cost was damn near impossible. You know, from everywhere that I looked.
That's
you know, now refi, yeah, you can get 100% of your cost. I mean, whatever it is you can get, up to I think it was 80%, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
But loan to cost, 80% of that, 100% of that, that's a hell of a program. If
that opens up all kind of doors now.
Absolutely, yes, it does.
Yeah. So, Will, I got to tell you something. All right, hold on. We got Moses Tillman here, and then I'm going to tell you. Moses Tillman, SSN University honors class tonight. Thanks. Thank you, Will, for bringing the knowledge. People are loving it. All right.
Man.
Andrew Miller, then I'm going to tell you something. I said if I had that kind of money, I would buy a 2-family house. Yeah, they had funding with their approval. Exactly. If you had 69,000, I mean, come on. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, really. Yeah, I mean, you can do, I mean, there's something, I mean, 69 grand. Jesus Christ, man, I can't believe these people are charging that kind of money.
Exactly. And getting it from some people. That's what's insane. You know? I'm just like, man. Will. So, ladies and gentlemen, me and Will been friends for a long time. But there's certain things there's characteristics that we have we will learn from me not to tell anybody what we're doing. So even though we're friends, we don't call up each other and say, hey man, I'm doing this. So he doesn't know about, I'm setting up SSN Lifestyle. All right. So you don't know nothing about this, Will. I'm setting up SSN Lifestyle, and it's going to be coming out in a week or so. But it's going to have to do with, just so you know, it's actually, I'm going to have a component to it where we're going to actually do investments. All right. And I'm going to start with the Founders Club. And there's only going to be about 10 to 15 people that can be part of the Founders Club. And they get the first dibs on any investments that come to us. So basically, I'm going to turn it into the Shark Tank. It'll be SSN something. So I'm going to have people pitch us stuff. So now you know who I'm calling up when somebody comes with some real estate deals.
Absolutely, man. By all means.
Right. And so they're going to have first dibs. And then if you can do just like Shark Tank, I'm out. And then people who are members, it's going to be refer a friend, almost like a little networking, marketing type of thing where there'll be a couple levels. But the people that's the rest of the memberships after the, let's say the Sharks, don't want to invest or only invest a certain percentage, the rest of the membership will be able to invest as a group to put money in. So that's one of the components that I'm doing with SSN Lifestyle. So yeah, I'm coming back to some real estate, man.
Yeah. Man, you know, one of the things I have to say, man, I've known E since I was young, you know, when I was young and dumb, you know, and E has really guided me in a lot of my things, a lot of my struggles, from like my marriage and all that. And, you know, he's always, I mean, he's a really great friend to have, and I brag about him a lot. But one of the things that I love about you, E, is like E, he'll be rolling, I mean, doing all kinds of stuff, and then something that happened that affect his business, and then he's on to the next thing just like that, and he's rolling again. I mean, he knows how to create. He knows how to print money. You know what I mean? It's insane. It really is. You know what I mean? It is insane. You know?
Man,
it's insane the stuff that I've seen you do, E, over the course of, you know, a 20+ year friendship, man. It's like it's been insane, man.
Man, you know, I'm just having fun. You know,
yeah.
I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
Just having fun, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. Okay, let's go. We got a few more, Will. I'm going to let you go in like 15 minutes, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I got a lot of info for free from a lot of seminars I went to, and we'll share it to Eric once I put the notes from this call, and we'll send to Eric for everyone that wants it. Right on, Wilson Koo. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. For commercial, here's Wilson Koo again that does the lending. As long as you have at least 60 to 80% occupancy, depending upon the type of units, duplex, fourplex, high rise, they funding 60, 80%.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Wilson Koo's the man right now.
We're gonna have to talk.
That's exactly. That opens up a whole bunch of doors now.
That opens up, yeah, no doubt. You know, as far as new acquisition.
That's it. Exactly. Tim Smith. I freaking love this. Thank you for sharing with us. That's from Tim Smith. Right on, man. I'm glad you guys are liking this because, look, I tell them like this. It's real in the field, Will. And this is what we've been doing. This is what people don't understand. We've been doing this. This ain't like we just showed up Johnny come lately. We've been in the mix 10, 20 years. This ain't like, you know, that's what's so funny. Vanessa Comagate, Wilson Koo, cool deal. Thanks. Strong faith, persistence, experience, diligence. That's right. Wilson Koo, congratulations, Willie. You went where others only dream about, but your worth ethics and willingness to learn and educate got you ahead of other dreamers. Well done. That's it.
Oh, man, thanks a lot for that. I appreciate that.
That's it, exactly. Willie is right. If you got 40 to 50K, then you can do deals yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't need those guys, man.
Exactly.
You really don't. Most of those guys, man, they, you know, I don't know. I don't want to down anybody. You know, I just say, in my experience, when you spend that kind of money, it's usually they're usually more getting money on the courses than they are doing actual deals.
That's correct.
I don't think I couldn't even sleep at night taking $60,000 from somebody.
Exactly.
Especially if I have, if I got all these bills going,
Right.
why in the hell would I need just $60,000 or $40,000 or whatever it is I'm taking from
That's
you? It doesn't make any sense.
0 cents. Exactly. Exactly. Now, 3 hours in since I started the live stream, so you got to smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. And I got to thank Willie Redd's in the house, the man that's investing in commercial properties. He's been putting it down. You know what I'm saying? He's my friend for over 20, 30 years, maybe. Jeez, a long time.
Wait. Actually, yeah, man, it's been over 30. Man, I'm old, man. God, it sure has been that long, bro, man.
Yeah, man. It's been a while. All right. Here, Will, something you like. So Curtis Davis says, yeah, he turns a $7 stock to 21. Yeah, Will, another thing, man. I've been telling him about some stocks from last year, and we bought stuff, $3 to $5, $7, turn it into 20, 30, 40, 3, 4, 500% on your money. So we have to diversify, right? We just shouldn't be in the real estate only.
That's
right?
very true.
That's it, exactly.
True.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, man, I've been having a really crappy week in Forex this week, man. It's been really, it's been a tool, man. But even though I'm taking a bath this week, I'm still at it, man. We'll go. I will say this on stock. It's not how much money you invest. The way I approach it is how much money can I afford to lose.
That's it, exactly. That's right. That's how it is with investments in the stock market or Forex or anything. Any investment for that matter. All right, Will. So the last thing is, I know you big timing with the hotels and with the commercial properties. Man. When you coming down to the Dominican Republic, pre-construction properties on the island?
You know what you've been telling me about, and here's the thing, man. I actually am going to do that, and the reason being is because I don't know what America's going to look like in the next couple of years, man. So I might have to get out of here, man. I gotta have somewhere I gotta have somewhere to flee to.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So you know what? You do me a favor, man. I'm gonna talk to you when I get off the line because I do need that information again. I'm really bad at keeping info, man. And
man. Get over here on the island. Get over here on the island, man.
Yeah.
They got deals right now. 100 grand, 120 grand. You good.
Oh,
2 bedrooms. Man. You good.
On the beach?
No. On the beach you got to do like 180.
That's still good, man.
Yeah, I know. I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that.
It's funny. I was looking at some properties, and I've been in LA a lot.
Right.
And I'm looking at properties in Santa Monica on the beach. Man, these people are going nuts.
Oh man.
It's
every
like
house
$6 million in
1.5.
some cases. $6 million for a 3-bedroom, man. It's like it's incredible.
That's crazy.
And like, who in the hell can afford this?
Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
$180 grand, man. Oof.
Yeah, man. 180 get you on the beach. That'll be like a 1-bedroom. You got to be around 200 can get you a 2-bedroom on the beach.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty sweet, man. Right now, that is, I don't know what it'll be in a year from now, but right now you can do that. All right. So thanks for sharing, Willie, your journey. It's all about taking a calculated risk and going for it in order to get to the next level. That's the only way to build wealth. Exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up. We had Will on tonight. He does the real estate investing. He does the commercial investing. He gets the funding for it. He knows how to get the funding for it. So if you find some real estate, because 99% of people can't get funding in the millions. So you need to send it over. We'll look at it and we'll go from there. All right. Amen. So you guys have an outlet. You got a lifeline. All right. So use it. Thanks for the gems, fam, and Willie. All right. Thanks, Willie. God bless you. Right on.
God bless you too.
All right, Will. Well, I'm going to let you go, and then I'm going to sign out. But thanks again, man. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for the chip,
bro. And sorry I was late, man.
Oh, no. You're never late, man. We run. You know how we do this. You know how I'm never on any – are we on any timelines? Come on, man. You know, you
No, I
wake
get
up
it.
when you want to, go to bed when you want to. So
That's very true.
what the hell, man? I can't. There was no time. Whenever you can show up, we good.
Okay.
You know how we
Yeah.
do it, man.
Yeah. I was running, man. I was running. I went for, me, I like to run.
Yeah.
And man, I was out there running. I was like, oh man. I looked at my clock and I'm like, wait a minute, I was supposed to running back to the car. Luckily, you didn't put me on because I was out of breath at first.
No, it's all good, man. But I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah, you got some more love, man. This is awesome. I get SoCal deals a lot. Right on. Thank you both from Andreen Miller. I've
Thank you,
always
Ryan.
ignored them because of the price. That's the gurus.
Yeah.
Right on, man. So everybody's showing the love. Thanks for this. You both are an inspiration.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
man.
you.
So thank you, everybody here at SSN Nation. I'm going to let Will go, and then I'm going to talk about another 5 minutes. We've been on here 3 hours, 9 minutes with Will's help, too. So once again, my man, Will, we'll talk later. And,
Absolutely.
you know, hold on. I'm going to give you some, can you see the screen?
Yeah, I
Can
can
you see the screen at all?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
You can see the screen? All right.
Mhm.
I'm going to give you a teaser. I'm gonna tease you with something. Check this out, man. Check this out. I'm gonna tease you right now to get you over in my spot, because we both got to retire, man. We got to be on the island.
Okay, absolutely, man. I agree
You
with
know
you.
what I'm saying? But I'm trying to get
I
you in my
totally agree.
spot. It's not on the beach, all right? So I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna put this on the screen. All right.
Okay.
So check this out, man. Check this out. One of my spots. All right. So this is the one not on the beach that you're about to see on the screen. Let's see when it's coming up. So let me know. Well, it's not up. Okay. So here it is, right? Can you see that?
Yeah, Panorama Gardens. I see it.
Yep. All right. Check this out. Look at this. Can you see that 64,000 right there?
Yeah, I need glasses, man. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
it's all
man.
right. It's all right. Check this out. Check this out, Will. Look at this. That's a saltwater lake.
You got to be kidding me.
And this right here is, even though it looks like a beach, it's actually like cement. So it's made to look like a beach. This is saltwater. The darker lake on the other side, that's freshwater lake. And they put fish in there.
Wow.
So you see the little island right here? That's Commercial Island, where there's restaurants, bars, cigar lounge, and all that. You can fish in the lake, take it over here to be cooked at the restaurant, or take it to your condo, villa, whatever.
You serious?
Yeah, man, just for starters. All right. Here, check it out.
Wow.
The only nighttime golf course, all right, in all of the Caribbean.
No
It's
way.
going to be at this property, right? Okay. Oh, I didn't put this in English. Hold on. Since you're I got something for you, Will. You guys got to understand. Oh, the page can't be translated. You guys got to understand. Will rides. Do you still ride bikes?
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
I'm still running right.
Okay. Can you see this little logo here? They have it's not in English, but it's cycling circuit, man. It's 12 kilometers.
What?
Yes, they have a running circuit, which is also the cycling circuit, which is 12 kilometers.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, that's like paradise for me, man.
Yeah.
Really.
And also, just for us, they have co-working spaces there. Apparently, I don't know where they're at though, but they have co-working spaces, and I'm like, I want to see where that is, because now we don't have to be in the condo or villa. And this is the condo section. Panorama Garden is condos. This is where I bought mine. And the Panorama Park is villas.
Nice.
And can you see these prices?
I can't. My like I said, I need reading glasses. Either.
All right. So the 1 bedroom, $75K. 1 bedroom, $79K. 2 bedroom, $123K. 2 bedrooms are basically 120 some thousand. All right.
Yeah, nice.
So now here's the Zen Center, Will. This is also within this complex for Panorama Garden and Panorama Park. Zen Place also has a pool. It also has a restaurant. It also has a yoga. It also has a fitness center. It also has a cigar bar, and it also has an art gallery. all in this building, and it also has 2 pools. And in the whole complex, Panorama Park, Panorama Lakes, and all that, there's a total of 10 pools.
Wow. Wow.
And it's security gated just to get in Panorama section. But to get into Vista Cana, to get in the section in the first place, there's gates. So that's the spot. And that's basically 2 bedrooms are right now, 2 bedrooms, 120 some thousand or less. So there you go.
That is doable, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's the spot that's my spot. But hey, there's other places too. In fact, I'll do one more. Because we got real estate investing, right? Here's one that Victor Marrero has. All right. He's at Cana Rock. It's in at Punta Cana. It's the Hard Rock Casino and Hotel, which is all inclusive. So what they did was, since they have a golf course, they're on the water, right? Okay. The Hard Rock Casino and Hotel is on the water. What they did was they built condos on their golf course. All right.
Wow.
So let me see if they're actually going to show the picture on this. So I'm going to try and show some pictures. They always change it up. Here, I'm going to go to, let's see, they don't really show it. Let me go to, I'll just go to Star. It doesn't really matter. They have like 6 or 7 or 8 properties, right? The 1 bedrooms on here cost like 115, 130, something like that on the Cana Rock, like condos and things like that.
Interesting.
The 2 bedrooms though are over 200 grand, but they're still within the Hard Rock Casino and Hotel property. Look at this. Can you see these pictures? No, maybe.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, this is what they're looking like. All right.
Wow.
And they're on the golf course. And they also mean you can walk to the water, the beach, 3 to 4 minutes, you'll be at the beach. They have their own private club. So this is another one that is awesome. And Hard Rock Casino and Hotel, they have the actual, just like in Vegas, where they have like superstars that come there and do their, concerts. So you're on the site, and they give you a wristband where you can go to the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Since it's all inclusive, they give you a wristband for being a guest. So you'll be able to go into the Hard Rock Hotel Casino property as well. So it's one of those things, man. So this is the other one, but this costs a little bit more, like I said. But still, we're talking about $20,000 to $30,000 down payment, and then you have 0% interest until they finish the property in 1 to 2 years. And the one I was showing you was Vista Cana. That's the same way. All right. Put down 10%, pay 0% interest for 21 to 30 months. All right. So just wanted to show you that, and I showed everybody else too.
They're giving these things away, man. They are giving these things away.
That's it, exactly. So that's how we're doing it, man. So anyhow, I'll let you run. And thanks again, Will. All right.
Absolutely, bro. I appreciate you, man.
All right. I appreciate you, man. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, now.
All right. Bye.